Uh, the camera fell. But anyway, so I was like trying to get myself help in the way that I only knew how to. And that was the only way. Because I would get on these virtual reality games. All my relationships, all my friends were always on these virtual reality games. And that was that for years, and until I had a bad breakup on one of them and looked out the window and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? You know, that's when I tried to be normal, but I wasn't on any medicine. You gotta remember, years of being a recluse, you're lacking a bunch of social skills, and the paranoia of death was no help. I always had that. That was just something that I got from 8th grade from when I overdosed, and Um, yeah, I went to the hospital. I met a guy who was in there for overdosing, and me being innocent and stuff, I was like, being a little kid, I was like, what's that? And like, he explained it to me, and I thought this guy was the coolest guy in the world. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go try that when I get home. So I tried it, and next thing you know, I ended up back in there. Um, my grandma tells me, oh, you know, my grandma tells me to cherish my innocence though, because I still have my problem is with the lack of socializing and being a recluse all my life. There are times where I literally act like a child. There's always those times where I act like a child, and it's because from what the therapist said was it's like I am acting out a childhood that I never had. So that's why I'm acting that way. And because my whole childhood was pretty much reclusing and just trying to escape the thoughts that were in my head. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I have a cousin. Oh, actually, I'm getting off topic. See, I got a piece of paper here with everything on it, to keep me on subject. Because I get scatterbrained and I'll just talk everywhere around the corner. But after my friend Laura, I met the woman, who I put years into. Um, she didn't want me to speak to her no more. I did as she pleased, and I did away. Then when I lost her, when she had a moment where she wanted to take a break, it's like, okay, I hadn't have no one to talk to. Because, I gave up that one friend who would talk to me all day, for if I were to go crazy, they would talk me out of it. To where then I would talk to the girlfriend instead of my friend. I let my friend go. I was no longer friends with her. I would only talk to the girlfriend. But then when she had her moments, she wouldn't pick up the phone for me. She was like, she wasn't talking to me. That's when I contacted my grandma. And it was the best move I ever did, because come to find out, my grandma's diagnosis, um, same as mine. Same as mine. Just probably not the autism, which I haven't been actually diagnosed with autism, is they were trying to pinpoint it. Well, at the time, Asperger's or autism. But now Asperger's is actually on a big spectrum of autism. It's crazy. But that is one of my goals, is to meet someone who. Now the thing about it though, since I'm not a kid no more, it's going to be harder to diagnose the exact spectrum I fall under, because my brain is already set. But to see a professional, they can actually help me cope with what I need to do, like when things get repetitive and stuff. But but yeah, me and my grandma, she's my best friend now. I'm always checking on her. Every single day I call her. Same time, everything. Very repetitive schedule. And sometimes I come into mind, like, what would I do? What am I gonna do when I have to bury my best friend? I'm gonna be crushed. I gotta find some way to cope. So this right here, this is what it is. When that time comes, these videos I will make to help. someone, because I was always helping my grandma. If I'm not helping anyone, every day after work, I'm always helping my grandma. Makes me feel wonderful. But after that situation of yesterday, went in the group today, it was about self-compassion. And, I'm like, yeah, I really learned a lot from this today. And, one thing that I want to talk about is my writings. Now, when I bought this notebook I have here, see, my dad, he hasn't fixed my computer. And, with him not fixing my computer, it's been causing a lot of imbalance, because my writings were how I got out that aggression. And it would make me feel so much better. It was like vomiting, basically. Just vomiting. That's how it felt. I actually did a one writing, and I'm looking back on it, and I'm like, that is very negative, and I don't want to go back to that. But I did do music and everything, but it was very repetitive. Very repetitive. It was all about the same thing. The same thing, the same thing, the same thing. And, if you find it, you find it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not deleting it off of YouTube or anything, because that's where I was. I went through many phases. I went through a dang debate phase where I debated people, and I did these anti-religious videos. I'm not deleting it. That's where I was. Like, it shows how much I've progressed to where I am today. But basically, the writing right here, I'm only going to read the first thing. I'm going to beep out, but basically it says, kill a bee, choke a bee, F her mouth till it splits, spit on her piece of S, you disgusting effing bee. And as you can see, the words, they go pretty long. But that's how I wrote. And that's not good. So this right here, never again. Never again. This right here is going to be the way. And I've also, instead of writing like that, I've also been keeping a journal. First, it was just a regular journal, but then I was writing too much negative. So every time I would open it, it'd be a constant reminder of the negative that happened. So I was doing some looking and how to, stay devoted to your journal and do it every day. The best way to do it is to do a positive journal. So only write positive things. Even if you had a bad day, just find the positive in that day. And so that's what I've been doing, and it's been so good. But I'll do a video on the journal later. But yeah, the reason why I wrote like that, though, for so long, because that was my only outlet to purge out the thoughts that were on my head. And now that I'm on medication, now it's more went to that becoming a coping skill, because now that I no longer have the thoughts, when I get into those situations where I'm in a rut, I just know how the thoughts had me think, and that's how the thoughts would have me think. I wouldn't do anything, which is why I reclused myself at the time without medicine, because I don't know what I was capable of. But now it would be just to where I would just talk crap. Anyway, you know the routine. Go click the next video.